Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video where I'm going to talk you through how fitness became the foundation for my life and obviously how you can also use fitness as well. Now, starting off, the barn is mad. Okay, I've been here 3 weeks and I went to get a trim today, but it was closed. So do excuse the mop on the head. However, it's not here for my haircut. We're here to give some value and some thoughts that you can take away from this video and hopefully implement into your life. So, what do most people think about, obviously, when it comes to fitness? Because I certainly used to think it was all about looking a certain way. Rolling it back, 2017 started in the gym. 2018 summer, had my first lads holiday to Zante. 8-week cut consisted of minimal calories, I think about 1,300, zero fat, because I thought eating fat would make me fat. And I remember doing 5 gym sessions a week and 3 lots of sprint intervals on a treadmill. Okay, so after 8 weeks, I was very, very lean, didn't have much muscle, and also ended up urinating green. So I don't think I'm very healthy, but I looked really good for the first few days and it just went downhill. However, as the years have gone by and I've matured and learnt more about training, for me, it's not so much about looking a certain way. It's the case of using fitness as almost like a leverage. Okay, it's allowed sort of me to be the foundation. However I'm feeling, going to the gym, training, I get it done. It makes me feel better. I even get it done when I don't want to go. And it's allowed me to improve mindset, career, and overall lifestyle. So as I've said before, and obviously I just alluded to, I did start training just purely to look a certain way. Now, I think I'm about 19 here, so about 2 years of training. And initially it was playing football, wanted to go to the gym, started going to the gym, started looking better, enjoyed that a lot more, stopped playing football and just put all my time and effort into training. Okay. I was always fairly, what's the word? I looked into training a lot. You know, I never really did like a bro split, for example, because a lot of people I looked up to and followed were sort of going against that, which is probably right. But I know a lot of people back in the day would be going, "Oh, I was training the bro split," and that was never really me. I always did like a push pull legs, probably push pull. I probably didn't do 2 leg days, especially at the start. But I wanted to get stronger. I wanted to look good for holidays. Obviously, as you do when you're like 19, in like this was like prime, well, not quite prime, but it was sort of like Love Island, Geordie Shore, that sort of stuff. So of course, looking the part was very important. But then I realised that actually training gave me a lot of structure. It gave me a lot more benefits than just how I looked, and it allowed me to sort of stand out from others. People complimented me, and it gave me a lot of self-confidence, which obviously allowed me to use that to become less introverted and become a little bit more of a confident individual. So obviously the discipline in the gym was then transferable into other avenues of my life. Okay, so when I was at work and I didn't want to go and do a certain task, like one of my jobs was knocking on doors trying to sell printers. I really didn't want to do that. The discipline of when I go to the gym, I show up for that and look how well I've got from that. I'd do the same with work. So I'd make sure I was going to knock all the doors that I said I would do, get that done. Allowed me to stay consistent, clear, focused, and obviously help improve work and relationships. Well, maybe the relationship part didn't, but that's another story. But it did just give me that belief of, okay, if you put yourself, it was my first time of really applying myself to something, because through school I didn't really give it my all, just as a typical teenager. Whereas with the gym, I learned that if you put your mind to something, I can actually do it. And it taught me sort of that, you know, it's not an instant thing. It's something that takes over a long period of time. I remember thinking, crikey, I've got to train 5 days a week for the rest of my life. How am I going to do that? We're still here, roughly 5 times a week, and that was that. But like I said, it wasn't just the physical benefits that training and health and fitness brought me. It was also obviously the mental, and obviously allowing me in shaping where I am today at the ripe old age of 25. So leaving stability. So obviously with training and everything, it's allowed me to have confidence in succeeding in anything that I do. You know, apply myself to training, look good, feel good. Okay, if I put that same mindset and effort into other things, the same will happen. You know, managed to have a PT business doing 25 sessions a week. And I left that because I thought, well, I want to be doing more. I want to push myself further. I want to, you know, work in a better environment, work with different people. So I left that to go and obviously move to Nottingham. 7 months later, realised this isn't what I want to be doing. This isn't for me, doesn't feel right. I'm going to go do something else. And, you know, it just gives me that confidence, because I'm like, well, it wasn't for me. I'll go and try something else. I do believe that all comes from the discipline I built from training and almost that self-belief. Through all the gym though, through all the change, of doing all these things, one thing that stayed consistent was the gym. I'd always train whatever it was I was doing. I'd always make sure I was eating the right amount of food. I was, depending on what phase I was in, I was making sure I was hydrated. And ultimately, it was one of the key pillars to keeping me not on the straight and narrow, but just keeping me in check when other ththings may be a little bit more chaotic as such. But for me, why fitness supercharges your life is it gives you that confidence of just showing up. And it's a great trait to have. I always think that if I was in a workplace and I had 10 members of staff and one of those members of staff went to the gym every morning, ate good food, did what he said he was going to do, took his training, recovery serious, he's probably going to have a similar mindset in work and he's probably going to do quite well. And that was always what I used to think. So it's a great trait to have, and it does really help build that self-confidence. It's going to give you more energy. It's going to help you think sharper, focus at work or whatever it is you're doing. It's going to allow you to sort of perform at a high level. Definitely going to help. Same relationships as well, because for me, if you're working on yourself and you're looking better, feeling better, it's only going to help with your relationships. Okay, I think a lot of people when they get in relationships can get quite comfortable. It just gets a little bit stale. But again, if you're still training, you're still in shape, you've still got that drive, that discipline. It's obviously quite an attractive trait to have. I would imagine that probably is. When you're physically strong, you're more likely to lead, take risks, and back yourself. So again, in the workplace, you're probably going to stand out more. Okay, if you're going to the gym, training, looking good, keep yourself to yourself, do what you need to do, go above and beyond, you're probably going to do quite well in work, whether it's career progression, whether it's your own business or whatever else it may be. Fitness isn't separate from success. It's the foundation of it. So I definitely put, obviously with me, fitness is also work as well. So there's obviously that cross correlation, but even if it wasn't work, I still think I'd be doing well in another field because of what I've built through fitness, etc. So obviously, how can you go about applying this? So, I've given you all the reasons why training should be a key pillar and sort of why I have it see it as a really important element of life. But I think it's more than looking a certain way. Don't get me wrong, looking good, he says, whilst a photo of me doing a photo shoot is great. However, again, from this photo shoot, I gained so much more from the process than the outcome, that I was able to take what I learned from the process into everyday life. Whereas the outcome of just being lean, having a photo shoot, okay, I look good, but it was the 16 weeks of that commitment and obviously doing everything I needed to do to get there, which is far more important for me. So I would always, say enjoy the process over the outcome, learn to, enjoy and love the person that you become through it. So, fitness, it's commitment, it's discipline, healthy lifestyle, a lot more popular now than maybe it was 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So, it should be in most people's lives, especially if you wanted to sort of stand out from others. And again, with this, it doesn't have to be like a 6-7 day a week training. You don't need to be doing like counting all your meals and prepping everything to the gram. Three sessions per week. Do it first thing in the morning, full body split. Nice and simple. Do that every day. If you do want to prep your meals, if you're in work all day and you haven't got access to anything, do that. Take something with you that is going to have protein with each meal, some micronutrients and some carbohydrates. Nice and simple. And over a long period of time, showing up daily, doing everything you need to do, builds momentum, and therefore it allows you to transfer that into other avenues and other elements of life as opposed to just the gym. Meaning it's going to be hard not to succeed in whatever it is you're doing. So if you do feel stuck or lost, take charge of your training. Okay, 100%. Like, have something to follow. Make sure you enjoy it as well. At the moment, I like paddle. I love playing paddle. So that at the moment it's not, but back in the UK it was in routine, because I would happily play paddle for 2 hours every day. So again, if you may be struggling with getting into the gym, motivation's really low, just start off with something you might enjoy: 5-side football, run clubs, paddle, whatever it may be. Just get yourself training, and then you can obviously leverage and build that up from there. Now, not saying the gym's going to solve all your problems, but it'll definitely make you better equipped, and it'll also allow you to sort of release any stress you may be carrying from work, relationships, etc. So it's definitely, like I've said, more than just the physical. There's also a huge mental part to fitness and training in itself, and it's all about committing yourself, becoming the person you want to become in every avenue, and obviously looking good as well definitely helps. So make sure you lead yourself first, allow everything else to follow, because it definitely is a key pillar you want to have in your life if you haven't already. So that is what we covered. That has hopefully given you a bit of information as to why you should be training and why you should be go in the gym, doing things you enjoy, keeping active, because it is far more than looking the part. You're also going to feel and perform the part as well. So if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.